because it was your mead that made me realize, oh my God, there's so much more out there. Because I'd been kind of futzing with it, but...
Yeah, and you were the crazy lady, as I recall. You were the crazy lady that had to send it to New York or something like that.
No,
so
California.
That you could get it from your sister. Oh, California.
Yeah.
Your
my sister-in-law lives in Long Beach. Yeah.
She would bring it to you.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, AJ, I don't think I ever told you that one. I had sister-in-law in Long Beach, so I'd have these guys send a case of mead with 3 bottles of their black mead, because she loves their black mead, and they would ship it to California. And she would pull out her bottles, repackage it, relabel it, and ship it to me. And
because we can't ship to North Carolina. So.
Yeah, and it was hilarious because that was basically her tithe was, the boss. She'd take a quarter of it, repackage it, ship it back to me. And it was ridiculously expensive. It was the only way I could get my hands on this stuff.
Yeah, craziness.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, so those are the good old days,
Yeah.
Back when honey was 62 cents a pound.
Yeah. Now it's almost to the point where a gallon of honey costs as much as a gallon of mead.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it's getting there. I'll tell you. I don't know what's going to happen when it does, but we'll see. So that brings up the question of, where are you guys? I know you're into, green and sane growth and that kind of thing. So are you guys doing anything special around sustainability and stuff like that? What's your business slash, just the way you want to do things on that?
Sure. Well, as we started out 20 years ago, we tried to keep things as local as possible. I mean, I'm kind of a nuts and bolts kind of guy. Sort of a MacGyver. I like to put things together. And I'm a firm believer in using what's in your own backyard, which is one reason why I have a kind of a pile of treasures behind my garage. But we also, you got that one. That's good.
My dad's a pat. Yeah, I get it.
But we also believe really firmly in using what's in our local area. So we try really hard and to use honey and fruit that's sourced from our local region because. Our feeling is that it's the terroir of mead. It's the expression of the land in the glass, and it truly is. I mean, the honey and the fruit that we get locally is way different than anything that we end up having to ship in. It's much better, I think, quality wise, and because it's fresh, for one thing. And we originally we were able to source things from about 60 miles away. The Bayfield Peninsula in Wisconsin is about 50 miles away from us. And it's a real unique, roughly a 12 square mile microclimate that is a premier bramble fruit, raspberries, blackberries, and also the bush berries like blueberries and black currants grow really well there. Actually, the guy that we buy blueberries from has traveled the world teaching people how to grow blueberries, and his farm consistently outproduces Michigan, which is the largest blueberry producing region in the world.
Yeah.
On a per acre basis, his farm is much smaller than those farms, but he consistently outproduces those kids every year.
I'm jealous on behalf of Michigan,
yeah, right. So anyway, so we were able to do that the first few years that we were open, and then it was sourcing from within 100 miles, and now it's 150 miles. And I'm sure as time goes on and we continue to grow, we're just outgrowing what the supply is and what we can get locally. So we're trying still to keep our core products as local as possible. And we're always trying to find ways to reduce, reuse, recycle. One of our big initiatives coming up is how can we continue to save water and cut our water usage. And, water up here is a beautiful thing. We have 10,000-year-old water in our aquifer up here in the Lake Superior Basin.
Yeah.
And people consistently say, "Oh, this water is fabulous," and it is. It's just we have artesian wells all over the place. Our property is artesian wells, and down the road from us, it's just great water, and it shows, in the spirits and in the meads and everything. So, there you go.
Okay. Cool. So, you guys, you were saying earlier, you did coast to coast to coast, learning, what the others were doing, and, So what was it? What was it like back in the days of the Wild West? Yeah, and you were one of the only professional meaderies out there. What'd you guys start out with? What'd you do?
We actually had a fairly good offering. We started off, of course, with the traditionals, the dry and the sweet in particular. We started off with a Sizer. I think we did a raspberry and a blueberry.
Blueberry.
And then, I think the second year we added the straw, and within a few years we started adding black mead and the ciders and all that kind of stuff. But pretty much our core has been the traditionals, the sweet and dry, Sizer, blueberry, raspberry. I think those are the 4 or 5 main ones. We added the braggots. I don't know, when did we add those? Maybe 4 or 5 years in, maybe 3 years in.
Okay.
And those we partner up with South Shore Brewery in Ashland to make for us because of the amount of honey and malt. So we keep them at, I think the traditional bracket is running about 55% honey, and the oak bracket is running more like 80% honey.
Wow.
And 20% malt. So, and they've been great. Beau Belanger from South Shore Brewery has been he started in 95, we started in 96. And, I went into the brewery to talk to him about it and told him what I was going to do. And he's looking at me with his head kind of cocked sideways. He's like, yeah, right, whatever. But, we're sort of kindred spirits, he left his good Department of Natural Resources fisheries job to start South Shore Brewery, and I left my well-paying psychotherapy job to start or to help move along. I guess I didn't quit my job for 5 years, but it's the same kind of deal. We were both working full time, then quit our jobs to run our businesses full time. So
nice.
And I think that's been one of the big factors in our successes. There's been, just a ton of people that have helped us out along the way. People in the state of Wisconsin, Wallersheim's, Bob Wallersheim, who's since passed away, that started Wallersheim Winery, and Philippe Cocard, his son-in-law, and Julie Cocard, his daughter. And I just always reference them and their philosophy, because their deal is that, we're not in a wine-producing region, or what's perceived as a wine-producing region, or a mead-producing region, or whatever you want to call it. So we have to help each other out. We either stand together or we die alone. And if somebody's making a bad product, it reflects on everybody. So it just makes sense to help everybody out. In that sense, I guess it's, is it altruistic? No, but it's good for everyone. And,
it's just
and that's kind of where that's kind of the philosophy that Kim and I have, is that, so many people have helped us out along the way. We're more than happy to help other people up along the way. And all you gotta do is call, set up a time to talk or whatever, shoot me an email. I'm happy to answer questions, and we've done that, quite a bit over the years, actually. So. Okay.
Now, I'll pass that along, because I know there's budding meaderies out there that would like the opportunity to talk to an experienced professional. And I mean, there are several of the meadery owners out there that do that. So I think it's great, because I'm a big believer in a rising tide floats all boats too. So it's
everybody's got different ideas. I mean, everybody's got different ways of doing things. Everybody's got different equipment. Well, some of it's the same, but maybe you put something together that's different or better than what I have, and you share those ideas, you network, and it's all good. It's all good stuff. So we don't we're not a big enough industry to be nitpicking each other. So
yeah, there's that.
So what sort of setup did you use when you were making mead at home?
5-gallon pail.
5-gallon pail, just like the rest of us.
5-gallon pail. Yeah. As we started doing more research. And we were working with Bob Kime quite a bit at the time, we bought a small ultrafilter cartridge to see how that would work. Do you guys know anything about ultrafiltration? You want me to go into that a little bit?
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I know a little about it, and I know AJ's read those books too, but there's a lot of folks out there that don't know Kime and
sure.
And his research. So, yeah, I think a little conversation about that might be interesting. And
Sure.
just as an FYI, we've got Luis from Costa Rica, and I'm getting ready to bring him in. So, Luis, you want to turn down the sound on your computer because it will echo when I bring you in. So please go ahead, Jon. I'm going to get Luis in here.
Okay, sure. So way back, 20 plus years ago, 25 years ago, Bob Keim had started pioneering this deal, this ultrafiltration to get the proteins out of honey for making mead. And in a lot of ways, I think he was, really instrumental in sparking some of the new, sparking people's interest in making mead commercially again, because the proteins had been a huge issue. It's that foam, if you boil it, it's that foam that forms on the top, and you get protein hazes in the bottle and stuff that are always sometimes tricky to get out.
Okay.
So my former partner had spent quite a bit of time with him, and we had decided to pursue that. Now, he was ultrafiltering the actual honey, which took forever. I mean, you know how viscous honey is, so it just took forever to get through that filter. And we ended up actually ultrafiltering afterwards, after fermentation, to remove those proteins. And we actually built the machine. Those machines, probably run $25,000-$35,000 for a single filter. They're probably way more than that now, but way back then. So we actually bought a cartridge and plumbed it, and with all the gauges and all that kind of stuff to do the ultrafiltration. So that's one piece of equipment that we started with. I don't think you need it. Certainly don't need it now. We haven't had one for years. We haven't used ultrafiltration because we found ways that were as good or better, I think, to remove the proteins without circulating it through that ultrafilter all the time. So.
Okay. Yeah, and I would think that it would... Luis is in the call now. Welcome, Luis.
Thank you. Hello. Welcome. Regards from Costa Rica.
Yeah. So,
hey, Luis. I'm so
call.
excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. This is Jon Hamilton from White Winter Winery, and I am so excited to hear you and have you on the same call because my wife and daughter are actually going to Costa Rica here at the end of the month. And my wife was just saying, hey, there's a meadery in Costa Rica. We got to find that place. And here you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Yeah. Good.
The universe is a strange and wonderful place, and this is evidence of that, bar none.
It is.
So,
and
this is
just
really exciting.
contact me offline, Jon. I know the owner
Sure.
of Costa Rica Meaderies, so I can hook you up.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I know everybody, right?
You do. You are the gal. I'll tell you what. You're the hub.
Yeah. It's welcome to Costa Rica for your family, and we can be in touch. I think it's possible.
Nice.
And yes,
I would love that.
I am just I will say enthusiastic and trying to develop some entrepreneur business with mead. And yes, there is one meadery already established in Costa Rica. I am just only trying to some batches testing, and I hopefully in the short future I will be in the market. No, not yet.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Cool.
Luis, you might want to look at the American Mead Makers Association. That's for North and Central America. And there's a lot of really good mead making information there. And, of course, GotMead also has a lot of information. But the professional mead makers there talk a lot about what equipment works and how to get started and business ideas and things like that. So it's definitely worthwhile. Their website is mead-makers.org. And they can be very helpful, and it's not very expensive to join as an individual, so you can learn a lot there.
Super. Well, I really knew because I'm following the American Association since months ago, and also I was following the CAP a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Well, I am not formally as a member, but yes, hopefully in the short future I will be there. No doubts, because you guys, you are doing quite well since years ago. And what I can tell by myself, by my experiences, my father and my uncle, and when I was young, I am 40 something. It's not need for details. Huh?
Yes, right. Yeah, we don't need to disclose that.